Hello, everyone. My name is Zach, and I'm filming from my church right now because we're preparing for Easter Sunday. But I just wanted to take the next few moments and do this for them. And so the question I will be addressing is the impact that Christianity had in America, in the founding of America. You see, for me, this is a huge question, and it's been tampered with a lot, and specifically the last few decades of our history. And this is a question that we see here in our school systems in Southern California that's being tampered with a lot. People trying to change history and whatnot. And I think that we can all in this class agree that Christianity has hugely impacted each and every one of us in a real and significant way. And I think we could probably all agree that Christianity has played a major role in the founding of this great nation from a democratic society and run by the people and stuff. And so Christianity is the most impactful and powerful systematic in the world today because it's the only thing that is truth, is about the Messiah, Christianity. And so, but what we're actually asking is the impact it's had not on us, but in the founding of our government, the founding of this great nation. And so no matter how much anybody, in my mind, can try to argue, no matter how strong their efforts are, you cannot separate the impact that Christianity had in the founding of our government systems and the founding of this great nation. And so let me mention a couple things real quick, because I know this isn't very long. In the first presentation that we had, and even in the reading, Dr. Roger Schultz on the article, A Christian America, talks about the roots of this and talks about this very thing. And he discusses specifically Chief Justice Earl Warren. And Chief Justice Warren had a very fascinating quote that I would like to read to you. And it says, "I believe no one can read the history of our country without realizing that the good book and the spirit of the Savior have from the beginning been guiding our geniuses." Now, this is a pretty big statement when you understand who he is, kind of a skeptic, some things that he stood for and helped pass and bring about in our country. And so for him to say this is huge and acknowledging something very, very significant. Let me go on and continue a quote that he continues to say. "Whether we look to the first chapter of Virginia or to the charter of the Massachusetts Bay or to the fundamental orders of Connecticut, the same objective is present: a Christian land governed by Christian principles. I believe the Bill of Rights came into being because of the knowledge of our forefathers had of the Bible and their express belief in it. I like to believe we are living today in the spirit of the Christian religion." And the quote continues to go on, but let me stop there and let me bring up another quote from someone who's kind of speaking from a more academic standpoint as well. Let me highlight another article from Mark Hall on heritage.com. And when addressing the impact of Christianity, and he's talking, what he's talking about is a lot of our forefathers were believers in the Messiah, but there were some who were not. And Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and so forth. And again, you could read about those, and most of you probably know about that already. And so he's talking about these. And so his quote, Mark Hall's quote, is, "A good argument can be made that even these founders, the non-Christian ones, were influenced by Christianity in significant ways. And it certainly does not follow that they desired the strict separation of church and state." They weren't even big advocates of the separation of church and state, these non-Christians. Because Christianity in and of itself has great principles that benefit not only Christians, but non-Christians alike. And so, you get people who were fleeing religious persecution in England, and they were coming over here for religious freedoms. And again, we've read about this. You have all kinds of sects coming out of this, and so they were fleeing from that. But even the non-Christians understood the benefit of Christian principles, and they were okay, which is obvious in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and all these things, of the influence that Christianity had in the founding of our country. And these are from two skeptics. Mark Hall's not necessarily a skeptic, but he is approaching it from an academic standpoint. And so I find these that are very fascinating and compelling when talking about the founding of our nation, because you cannot separate the two. And I believe that's all my time, and so I look forward to some of your guys' comments.